This is my hitch lift. I use this for picking up heavy scrap and brings it up to the height of my tailgate using this winch. So what the problem that I've had is that this wire didn't snap, but it definitely frayed apart. So all I did was cut it back, and so I'm using these clamps. I don't have any of these, and even if I did, I don't have a crimping tool to crimp something that size. I've never usually had much luck with these, so I'm just going to use these instead. All I have to do is just tighten it down, and it's kind of a funny mechanism here. You have to take out this screw out of this camshaft of this cam, and see, these are magnetic, so when this screw rotates around, it stops the rotation, so it's at the height of the tailgate. So what you gotta do is just take it out, and so that way you can unravel the rest of the slack out of it. I had to crack off this case because the screws were just rusted on, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. Either I will probably just end up taping, get some tape, or maybe I'll just clean this off and use some hot glue or something to keep it on temporarily. It met that one, so I gotta take it out, take out that screw so that this whole thing can rise up, because I just unwound it all. Down tailgate. That's not good. It's not good at all. These things are hitting it. It's hitting the side there. Maybe if I just try and move the wire over, like more in the middle, these things won't hit the side. Alright, I'm going to tinker with this for a little while. Holy cow, the thing just crashed down. Looks like it snapped right there again. Oh wow. Well, I'm glad it did it now, and not when I had a load on it. But yeah, I better change this whole thing. Man, look at that. Doing a really quick scrap run right now just to get my truck emptied out for the weekend. There's a few things I want to do with the truck. Just a little bit of loose tin in the back, not very much. Got 3 of these copper rads, 1 electric motor with the fan blade on it, 2 of these pieces of extrusion, this motor here, compressor, and this guy here, it is full, chock full of copper number 1. So I've been getting a lot of copper lately, because the shop that I go to, they've been giving me all their copper lines, and it adds up real fast. So that is heavy. I'm thinking that's at least 40 pounds of copper in that bucket right there. Yeah, I did go to the shop today, and they gave me another AC and the coil there and a furnace, but I don't have time for that. I gotta get going because the scrapyard is going to be closing very soon. So let's get on with it. All right, let's see what the current project is right now, guys. We have a demolition job. We can't see you yet. There, now we see Spencer working hard. Taking down all this wood paneling. And I emptied out this whole shed. I call it a shed, but it's actually like a truck box. It's been here since we moved in. Taking it right back down to the bare aluminum. This whole side here was, all the wall paneling that we took down was really, really wet. So there is a roof issue right now. It's a lot of work. There's a whole bunch of this rigid insulation in all these walls that was put there by someone that, you know, once upon a time they wanted to make this a heated space. What I did is moved everything over onto this side, and I did my best to organize everything. I moved some new shelving here, some filing cabinets and stuff for the tools. I have this shelving over here for all my power tools and hardware. So this side of my shed is like the tools and hardware side, and little projects, little things I want to clean up, I don't want to fix, you know. But everything else on the other side is going to be for storage. I'm going to be putting up some shelving. I didn't film any of it, but I did a lot of work. I've been working on this little project for the last 3 or 4 days. I had to raise up these industrial shelves. I took everything off. I raised up the shelving and put everything back on, and so just so I want these filing cabinets to be able to fit underneath it. I put some more pegboard up there for more tools I can hang up. Nice. Yeah. And I'm kind of curious to see what's behind here, because I remember one year there were some bats that were coming out of this hole. But that was quite a few years ago, but you never know, maybe they moved back in. We'll see. So, Dr. Pepper or ginger ale?
Dr. Pepper.
There you go. Okay, so Spencer's left. It's probably for the best because the air quality in here is not the best. Our flea market booth, what's happening there is that it's been closed ever since the shutdown, so our stuff is just sitting in storage, and basically it's just storage at the flea market. They're not charging us, although they said that they are going to start charging $5 a day, which kind of seems like pointless to be doing that, but just to have our stuff stored there. So, you know, we were going to quit the flea market anyways, because it just wasn't producing very much money for us. So in order to do that, I have to have somewhere to put it. So that's basically the reason why I'm doing all this, is just to put up shelving, and then I can go to the flea market, empty out my booth, and bring it all in here, and we'll probably find another way to sell it, and yeah, go from there. Always found it to be really annoying that there's lots of animals living in the walls, and this is what they do. They crunch up all this insulation, and it just rains down from the ceiling, and it's just other dirt and guck that they throw out from the cracks. It hasn't been the funnest place to store stuff. I'm recovering a few pieces of plywood. They're just 1/2 inch, but you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, except for this one here. I just pulled this one off the ceiling, and if you could only smell it, it is so bad. That there, squirrel. Been able to recover a few of these full pieces, but unfortunately I've had to break out a lot of these pieces were stuck in behind these bars, and I couldn't get them out without breaking them. But then there's some half pieces there and some full ones, and I should be able to get 3 more there. And then, but this last one is so nasty. Hey everybody, it is a Monday holiday, and I'm going to be working on my shipping, getting it ready for tomorrow. I should be outside doing something because it is just absolutely gorgeous out there. But I find that the problem is during the week, the internet is so slow. It's getting bogged right down, and I'm pretty sure it's because of everyone working from home. So there's, you know, the bandwidth is just getting all used up, and the internet here, it just becomes practically unusable. It's just so bad and can barely load a single page. So I find that I'm working during the weekends, and on today, the holiday, it's a lot easier because the internet is regular speed. During the week, I find I either have to stay up really late or get up really early to have any sort of internet usage. So yeah, I just turned on the camera to show you guys what I sold over the weekend. Let's start with this one here. Federal Pioneer 100 amp heavy duty safety switch. No fuses. So it's used. It's got the couple knockouts. I found this behind a dumpster, and I guess a contractor did a whole bunch of work, and they just you know, disposed of all of the stuff they removed from a job, because I found this, I think 3 other of these switches, and a big, well, not big transformer, but you know, a floor transformer, 150-pound one. Shipping it won't be too much of a problem. I'm just going to wrap it in cardboard, kind of protect this switch here and this metal plate. But yeah, so it's relatively easy to ship, so that's why I decided to sell it. So anyways, I did sell this one. I have 2 other ones up on eBay still, but they sold this one $60, $26 for shipping, and $7.79 sales tax. There we go, not too bad. This here, I really like this ceiling fixture. It's cast iron. It's kind of, I think it's painted with enamel. I tried to soak this in a vinegar bath one time, and so I got most of the rust off of it, but I'm left with like some enamel paint that's hard to get off. You know, I'm sure you could put this in a sandblast cabinet and that would just flake right off. But that's about all the restoration work that I've done. It comes with these original porcelain and the porcelain sockets. I bought this at auction. I can't remember how much I paid for it. Maybe like $4, something really, really inexpensive. And it was from just an old farmhouse. Nobody else wanted it. I brought this to my flea market, and I brought it all the way there. It sat on in my flea market booth for weeks and weeks. Everyone looked at it and they were like, "Oh, that's really nice," but you know, they asked me how much, and I was asking, I think $25 for it. They're like, "Oh, that's too much," so they just passed by it. So I was like, "Oh, enough of that." Brought it home, listed on eBay. It's been up for a little while, not too long, maybe a couple months, I guess. Here's what I sold it for: $115. It is $42 for shipping. That's going to California. Vintage cast iron ceiling light fixture, 5 porcelain socket, 5 stars, because it's got the 5 stars there. And I thought, you know, I wanted to kind of restore it myself, and maybe I would paint it and then paint the stars individually. You know, he can make it look really nice, I think. So I'm glad someone bought it. I'm sending it to California. It's like some store in Venice Beach, right there in Los Angeles. It's pretty neat. So I'm sure they'll like it. I always sell these things all the time. It's a microwave turntable plate motor. You know, it's just from inside of a microwave. I sell them all the time. $17 for this one, $17 for shipping. This easy sale. This guy here I like. I bought at a Habitat for Humanity store. There was a new in-box ice maker, and inside it was like an ice maker kit. So it came with the ice maker, came with this valve, and a few other components like the ice bucket. I think I remember talking about this on a video one time. But I sold the ice maker itself for $40, I believe. I bought the whole unit for about $35. And now this sold. So this is the valve, the water valve. It's brand new. I sold it $115. $115, $16.90 for shipping, and that's going to Utah. $115 water valve. That's incredible. These guys here, this is a little tweeter speaker. I have a whole box of these things. I bought them at an auction. It came with a whole bunch of stuff that I bought at an auction. So it's not a big sale. It's only $9.95. The shipping for these things is high. $17 for shipping. That's the way it's always been for these things. The shipping price is higher than the purchase price. So far, I think I've sold 14 of them, and I have 26. I have 26 of these left. Right here, RAM. I've been selling a lot of RAM lately, and so what I've been doing is sending it through Canada Post letter mail, and so far so good. I haven't had any problems. This is just 1 gigabyte stick, so selling them at $9 each, and I sold 2 of them, so $17.98, and a little bit of sales tax, and $20 total. And yeah, like I haven't had any problems really. I've had a couple people message me saying the RAM sticks don't work, and so I just give them a refund, because it's just such a small amount, and like pretty much everything I get for free, so it's not a big loss. But yeah, other than that, I've been making a lot of money off these little RAM sticks. You know, 1 gigabyte, 2, laptop, desktop, doesn't matter. And even some of the more expensive ones, I think some of them I've been selling for $40 a stick. This here is a treadmill motor, GS Electric permanent magnet DC motor. This was from a treadmill that I picked up off the side of the road, and it was an old treadmill that really wasn't a brand name. I couldn't find it anywhere on the internet, It's pretty old and beat up, so the only thing I took out of it was the motor. And I sold it for $85, 19 shipping, $12.72 sales tax. And I sell these all day, all night. People want them either to fix up their old treadmill or DIY projects. Pull this guy over here. It is a pool cue, and this was from a storage locker. I've had this. This has been up on eBay for a few months. There's no markings on it. Some of these are very, very expensive. This one here, I couldn't find any markings on it, so I just called it a vintage unmarked pool cue with case. I had someone message me about it, asking me if it was bent, and I did my best to look at it. I put it together and looked at it, and I didn't see any bends. And so I responded back to him, and I also dropped the price by $15 for him. But he never wrote back. But anyways, but someone else picked it up, and they bought it for $60, $18.20 shipping, $7.97 sales tax, $7.79 sales tax. And there we go. That was just from a storage locker. That was from a while ago. Lastly, some Filter Queen parts, Filter Queen vacuum parts. It's the tool caddy and a brush attachment, a slide-on brush attachment. I see these old Filter Queen vacuums all the time, and they're often falling apart and not working, and I'm always been able to manage. I've always managed to pull a few parts off of them to sell. That's what I did here. So the brush attachment is $13, and the tool holder is $25. $12.98 shipping, $5.68 sales tax. And that is it. This is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my day, is shipping out all this stuff, getting ready for tomorrow. In there. So what are you doing? I can't see you.
He's squishy.
Back down.
Oh my god.
What is going on?
I was getting squished.
Lift it up there. Yeah, I go for it.
Oh, he got that.
I recorded you getting squished.
Oh, you have to see it.
Oh my god. Except I'll edit out the part where I was yelling at you.
Yeah.
Made it back home. We also picked up this door here. I'm collecting glass doors, French doors, because I want to enclose my porch, put glass doors all the way around to kind of make like a three-season room. Collecting these things. I have 4 now, so I still got a ways to go. Yeah, I just bought that one for $20. A lot of copper in here. And what else we got here? Got these gauges. must be bad somehow. And so those are just going as brass. Quite a bit of the red Romex wire down there. It's more of a heavy gauge than normal. And they got me hot water tank, a bunch of copper on it, AC unit, and the AC coil back there. So it's a pretty good little pickup. Yeah, so I did a quick calculation for the porch. There's about 512 inches in each door. It's roughly 29 inches. So that means I'm going to need about 17 or 18 doors, and I have 4. So we have to get 13 more. 13 and 19 29ths. It's weird. This truck trailer is all gutted out. Oh, there's old wasp trying to find a place to nest. Can't find anywhere to nest in here. Too bad, buddy. I went down into all these crevices and I shot backed out all the gunk that was back in there. So I really cleaned this up quite a bit. Put a lot of work into this. Like I was saying, it's a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. So it's a work in progress. And hopefully at the very end we have a nice place for storage. Remember my wood chipper I said in my last video? I broke the blades in them. So I finally gotten around to taking these blades out. Look at that thing. That is massive. But look at this. They are reversible. So it's like having an extra life. Extra life. There we go. It's going to put it in just like that. That's good. It's good to know. Even there's an anvil on the bottom. That's reversible too. It's a good thing because these things are a real bugger to find. I've been looking everywhere. Princess Auto does not have any at all.